The Supreme Court is once again at the center of a political storm, drawing the eyes of the nation and the world. Its iconic marble steps have become the stage for a new chapter in American history, as the justices prepare to weigh in on issues that could alter the very fabric of our democracy. The tension is palpable, with every decision carrying the potential to shift the balance of power and redefine the limits of authority in the United States. At the heart of this storm are President Donald Trump's ongoing legal battles, which have captured the attention of both his supporters and critics. The courthouse steps are crowded with passionate voices, some rallying behind Trump, others demanding accountability. The legal drama unfolding is not just about one man, but about the principles that underpin the American system of justice. The court's upcoming decisions could redefine presidential power and reshape American politics for generations to come. The justices, robed in tradition, now face questions that go to the heart of the Constitution. Questions about the reach of executive authority, the boundaries of legal immunity, and the accountability of those who hold the highest office. At stake are two major cases, each with profound implications for the rule of law and the future of the presidency. The first is a civil verdict for sexual abuse and defamation, brought by E. Jean Carroll, a case that has sparked national debate about accountability, truth, and the power dynamics between public figures and private citizens. Carroll's courage in coming forward has inspired many, while also igniting fierce controversies and discussion about the standards to which leaders are held. The second is a landmark ruling on presidential immunity, a decision that will directly impact Trump's criminal conviction and could set a precedent for all future presidents. The question before the court is whether a sitting or former president can be held criminally liable for actions taken while in office. A question with no easy answers, and one that will reverberate through the corridors of power. These cases test the very foundation of American democracy, whether anyone, even a president, is truly above the law. The outcome will signal to the world how the United States interprets justice, fairness, and the principle that no individual is immune from accountability. The court's rulings will set precedents for future presidents and influence the nation's political discourse for years to come. Legal scholars, students, and citizens alike are watching closely, aware that these decisions will shape the boundaries of presidential power and the expectations of those who serve in the Oval Office. As the world watches, the Supreme Court isn't just interpreting law, it's charting the nation's future. The decisions made here will ripple far beyond the courtroom, influencing public trust in government and the very definition of justice in America. The outcome will echo across the country, defining justice and accountability in a divided America. In this pivotal moment, the Supreme Court's voice will help determine not only the fate of a former president, but the direction of the nation itself. To truly grasp the Supreme Court's pivotal role in shaping the future of American democracy, we must first look back at the extraordinary legal challenges that have defined Donald Trump's post-presidency. The nation has watched as the former president, now once again a sitting president, has become entangled in a web of lawsuits and criminal proceedings unprecedented in U.S. history. Trump's legal battles have spanned both civil and criminal courts, drawing intense media scrutiny and public debate. From the moment he left office, prosecutors and plaintiffs alike have pursued cases that test the limits of presidential accountability and the rule of law. One of the most high-profile cases involved writer E. Jean Carroll, who accused Trump of sexual assault dating back decades. The resulting civil trial captivated the nation, ultimately leading to a $5 million verdict against Trump for abuse and defamation. The legal saga didn't end there. Carroll later won an additional $83.3 million in damages for defamation, further intensifying the spotlight on Trump's conduct and legal exposure. In a separate and historic criminal case, Trump became the first former president ever convicted in a criminal trial. The Manhattan hush money case centered on allegations that Trump falsified business records to conceal payments to adult film star Stormy Daniels during the 2016 campaign. The conviction sent shockwaves through the political landscape, raising questions about the consequences for a president found guilty of criminal conduct. These legal battles have not only dominated headlines, but have also become central to Trump's narrative as he seeks to reclaim the White House. Supporters see him as a victim of political persecution, while critics argue that the cases underscore the importance of holding leaders accountable, regardless of their status. Following Trump's victory in the 2024 presidential election, the Justice Department, adhering to long-standing policy, dropped federal criminal cases against him. However, the civil judgments in the Carroll cases and the New York State conviction remain unresolved, representing significant legal and reputational threats as he resumes office. Now, both the Carroll civil judgments and the New York conviction have reached the nation's highest court. The Supreme Court's decisions on these matters could set lasting precedents, not just for Trump, but for the presidency itself and the balance of power in American government. With the eyes of the world on Washington, the stakes have never been higher for a sitting president, the Supreme Court, and the future of American democracy. In the E. Jean Carroll case, Trump has made a last-ditch appeal to the Supreme Court to overturn the $5 million verdict. His lawyers argue the trial was unfair, citing prejudicial evidence like the Access Hollywood tape and testimony from other women. They claim the case relied on decades-old allegations with no physical evidence, making the verdict a matter of credibility tainted by inflammatory material. The Supreme Court rarely takes such cases, focusing on broad constitutional questions. Legal experts are divided on whether the court will even hear Trump's appeal. The first hurdle: convincing at least 4 justices that this case merits review. The court's decision to hear or reject the case could be Trump's final legal turning point. Meanwhile, a landmark Supreme Court ruling on presidential immunity is already sending shockwaves through the legal and political landscape surrounding Donald Trump. The decision, which has been closely watched by legal experts and the public alike, is poised to fundamentally alter how former presidents are held accountable for their actions, both while in office and after leaving it. The court ruled that former presidents are shielded from prosecution for official acts carried out as part of their presidential duties, but not for actions considered private or unrelated to their official role. This distinction, while seemingly clear, has left lower courts with the complex task of determining which actions fall into each category, a process that could take months or even years to fully resolve. Trump's legal team has wasted no time in leveraging this new ruling. They are actively challenging his recent New York conviction, arguing that some of the actions at the heart of the hush money case were, in fact, official presidential acts. Their strategy is to convince the courts that these actions should be protected by immunity, potentially invalidating key parts of the prosecution's case. If the courts agree with Trump's argument, it could mean that crucial evidence, perhaps even the evidence that led to his conviction, would be excluded from the record. This could open the door to overturning the conviction entirely, setting off a legal domino effect with far-reaching consequences for Trump and for future presidents. On the other side, the Manhattan District Attorney's Office is pushing back hard. Prosecutors maintain that the charges against Trump are based on alleged state crimes involving private conduct, which, they argue, are not covered by the federal immunity granted to presidents. Their position is that no one, not even a former president, is above the law when it comes to private actions. With both sides digging in, this high-stakes legal battle is almost certain to make its way back to the Supreme Court. The justices may soon be asked to clarify the boundaries of presidential immunity once and for all, a decision that will have enormous implications for the principle of presidential accountability in America. Ultimately, the outcome of this case will set a powerful precedent, not just for Donald Trump, but for every future president. It will define how far presidential immunity extends, and whether the highest office in the land comes with legal protections that reach beyond a president's time in power. The Supreme Court's involvement has ignited fierce debate across the country. Trump's supporters see the court as a bulwark against politically motivated prosecutions, arguing the Carroll trial was unfair and the hush money case a witch hunt. They believe broad immunity is essential for a functioning presidency. Critics, however, fear the court's intervention could undermine accountability and place the president above the law. Legal experts are split. Some say the court must address trial fairness and constitutional questions, while others worry about its legitimacy being dragged into partisan battles. Most agree the court's decisions will be among the most consequential in modern history. The nation waits, divided, for the final word. The Supreme Court's rulings will shape Trump's political future and his presidency. Overturning the Carroll verdict would be a major victory, letting Trump claim vindication and erase a damaging stain. If the court upholds the verdict, it cements a historic judgment against him, complicating his image and legacy. In the hush money case, a ruling in Trump's favor could erase his only criminal conviction, strengthening his presidency. If the conviction stands, Trump would remain a sitting president and a convicted felon, fueling debate about his legitimacy. These decisions will define not just Trump's fate, but the power and narrative of his administration. The stakes are unprecedented for American politics. The Supreme Court's choices will reshape American law far beyond Trump. If it hears the Carroll appeal, the court could set new standards for evidence in high-profile civil trials. Declining the case would affirm current rules and empower victims, signaling that power doesn't guarantee special treatment. The bigger impact lies in the immunity ruling, which will define the line between official and private acts for presidents. A broad immunity could shield presidents from many criminal laws, while a narrow one reaffirms that no one is above the law. The court's decisions will set the boundaries for presidential accountability for generations. The rule of law itself hangs in the balance. This legal drama is about more than Trump. It's a defining test for American democracy. The Supreme Court's answers to questions of accountability and power will shape the nation's future and its faith in justice. The Carroll appeal and the immunity ruling force, a reckoning with how the law treats the powerful and the presidency itself. For ordinary Americans, these decisions will signal whether justice is truly blind. The court's rulings will impact public trust, the balance of power, and the meaning of justice for years to come. This moment is a reflection of who we are as a nation and what we aspire to be. The final verdicts will echo through history,